It is common at a Jewish funeral to recite passages of Tehillim, Psalms, which identify and praise a good man. Psalm 15 is a frequent choice. Often, this tribute is hyperbole. Imre Weinberger is the rare man about whom these chosen words are simply an accurate description. God, who may dwell in your tent, who may live on your holy mountain, one who does what is right and speaks the truth from his heart, one who does not slander with his tongue, who never wrongs his fellow and casts no slur on his neighbor, one who upholds his oath even to his own hurt, one who accepts no bribe against the innocent. The man who does this will never be shaken. I had the privilege to know Imre at Adath over the past 20 years. I spoke with several of his closest friends, and each of us agrees we never heard Imre say an angry word or lose his cool. We never heard Imre say a negative word about anyone. Most of his friends are lifelong friends to whom he was supremely loyal and would help in any way. No one could find a nicer man. Imre cared for everyone, starting with Vivian, his family, and his friends. Imre was always honest, straight, and put others before himself. Always. Everyone who knows Imre will realize the unembellished accuracy of these words by his friends. He was such a soft-spoken, caring man. Imre always had the respect and admiration from his clients, for whom he would go above and beyond the call of duty. He also earned the respect and had close relationships with staff, with all our partners, and with anyone who came into contact within the business community. Imre had no enemies as he calmly carried out his responsibilities. The story of Imre's life is the triumph of modern Jewish history in North America. As a child, Imre came to Montreal as an immigrant with his parents who were survivors of the Holocaust. Here, Imre built a beautiful life, a loving family, a flourishing, respected career, and with all that, earned a sterling reputation and a lasting legacy. In the words of one friend who speaks for every one of us, never negative, Imre truly was a mensch, a person of great integrity and honor. As a boy, Imre studied Torah at Merkaz HaTorah, one of the finest Jewish schools in Montreal at that time. Among his teachers were two of the greatest Jewish leaders in Montreal's history, Rabbi Nizhnik and Rabbi Hirschsprung. That experience and that knowledge is part of Imre throughout his life and stands in his honor now before the heavenly court. Imre was legendary for how he treated his friends. I apologize in advance if I got any of the details wrong, but the underlying truth of this story momentously reveals Imre's character. This is about three friends: Imre, a friend in Miami, and a friend in Montreal. As you may know, this latest trip to Miami last Sunday was characteristic of Imre's care for Vivian and for his family. David and Imre went just for a day or so to make sure their home in Miami was clean and working and ready to receive Vivian and the rest of the family who were to come soon. The last person to visit Imre, just a short while before he passed away, with no warning, was this friend from Miami. Imre hadn't been to Miami since COVID began, and Imre had brought a dozen bagels for his friend. Let that sink in for a moment. On the last day of his life, though no one knew it was the last day, Imre stopped on the way to the airport to buy a dozen fresh Montreal bagels to bring to his friend. This friend spoke with the other friend in Montreal, who also travels to Miami and brings bagels. But you only bring me frozen bagels from Costco. Imre brings me fresh, warm bagels bought on the way to the airport. To which the Montreal friend responds, "That's Imre. I'm not Imre." Who among us is really Imre? Imre's life ended too soon, too short, too sudden for us. That is true. There is no one here who can fathom the shock, the grief of Vivian and her family on Imre's unexpected, sudden, though peaceful, passing in his sleep. Stretching back to that New Year's party 54 years ago, where Vivian and Imre first met, and stretching into the future at every milestone, every simcha, at every moment, Imre will be missed, and his absence will be felt. And that is especially true because Vivian, Lena and David, Danny and Dova, and Alex and Iris, and the entire family were the center and priority of Imre's life, especially his grandchildren, Chloe, Alexis, Amelia, Leo, and Macy, who he adored, and with each of whom he built a unique, meaningful connection. Imre loved and cared for Vivian from the first time they met until his last breath. That is true. It is also true that Imre's life, like a symphony, does not depend on its length for its beauty. And Imre's life was exquisite. God, who may dwell in your tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? Imre Weinberger. May the memories you have of Imre create blessings in your lives. for generations to come.